Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back. Hope everybody is doing well. So, a lot of you guys had tuned in earlier today. There's just been some kind of interesting things kind of taking place. Um, but today, later after the live, um, I had caught wind and had seen allegedly a court filing that took place yesterday. And so, again, I apologize for kind of the late notice, like to do a live. I hadn't planned on doing one until I kind of came across that. And I just found it to be, rather interesting and wanted to talk a little bit about that. So, you have a lot of people who, they're having this opinion and they're saying, good for the baby mama, blah, 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 right? Well, here's the thing, you guys. There's obviously something. There's a lot of factors here that have not been made public that not everybody is aware of. And if I had to predict, I think it's going to come out that I just have a feeling that she has possibly been getting, I don't know, staying in contact possibly with the old clan, the same people that Ryan has been having beef with. And the reason why I say this, you guys, is because there was somebody else involved. There was somebody else who kind of, I want to say, possibly helped plotted to just kind of take off. And again, people are entitled to their opinions and stuff. However, I do not think for a second that he would go and file this if there wasn't something else further that was going on and taking place. Okay. Um, there's I don't know. There's some major shit going on, I think. But I want you to pay attention too. Because when was this? This was prior to the tour, the last tour that he had taken. I had some questions and I had asked one of Ryan's family members about it actually. Um, there was something interesting that had surfaced on Instagram, and it was quickly deleted um, within minutes of it being posted. And I always thought it was kind of ironic and kind of weird. I thought, what the fuck? Like, this makes no sense. Um, there was somebody who, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this story, talked about it before. Um, there was an individual who had came to Ryan's hometown, but didn't come to see Ryan. Never allegedly reached out to Ryan, didn't make plans with Ryan, but made plans and met up with baby mama prior to her being baby mama. And what I found very odd was Ryan allegedly did not have knowledge of that at all, until allegedly I had mentioned it to somebody, and then somebody asked him about it. So right there, I just kind of thought, that's kind of weird shit. So it's little things, you guys, that sometimes don't seem like big things that could actually be big things. The reason why I'm kind of touching base on this right now is because, again, I don't care if people support, don't support, whatever. Okay. What I'm simply advising, like for Ryan, is make sure you get your will changed again. Like, seriously, because here's what I worry about and what I struggle with is any kind of time that there is a legal court ordered protection order, no matter who filed it, both parties have got to um, stick by that. So at any point in time, like in Ryan's case, if he's, like missing her or, thinks he has a question, he may just, automatically want to reach out and text. Or if he hears some garbage on the internet, same case. This is why I would advise to get a mediator and have somebody, a third party, who can fairly help communicate between the two of you in regards to your guys' little one. Because I can tell you guys right now, that child is like his world. And I do not believe for a second that there's not anything that he would not go above and beyond to do to preserve and to keep his family. So something took place and something happened behind the scenes that we have not been made aware of, um, to where he basically did not want to try to kiss her ass and wait for her to come home or beg for her to come home. He went a whole different avenue. So again, that was for a reason. But if you guys remember what I said in my live earlier, he did mention Deerdorf in his live when he got home yesterday with the food and realized that something was not right. Okay. And don't you guys find it also a little ironic that Dracula Teeth, he immediately was on social media and had talked about all these claims that he had witnessed, right? But we also remind you, he made these claims and stating he has video proof and evidence, but yet he's basically stating on a public platform that he allegedly witnessed some form of, you know, verbal abuse or something of that nature, to where it was enough to where he allegedly recorded it, right? But yet there's no proof allegedly of him making any kind of police report or contacting the police. Okay. So isn't that just a little odd? Do you know what I mean? To me, I would think like if somebody really witnessed something that was bad, or if they really seen a pattern of some shit and they really felt that way, that they would automatically contact the police. Okay. So it sounds like to me, I think that a lot of these people have stayed in contact with her. I think that there is probably, again, there's probably some things that we don't know about. I also kind of find it funny too that timing, as I say, timing is very interesting, because if you guys also pay attention to the timeline of all these events and stuff recently, it's also the time that he has put the lockdown on the finances and closed up accounts and stuff of that nature, due to some activity and some things that were going on. Now, I'm not saying that, that person did anything. I have no idea. However, I want you guys to think of this. If for some reason uh, this said person is still in contact with the enemies, okay, well, that could be dangerous for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons, because guess what? Guess who holds the torch right now as far as Ryan's assets and, everything? Okay. It's all going to his daughter. Okay. Well, who has sole custody of the daughter currently? Baby mama. Because in the state of Tennessee, it's not considered kidnapping if the biological mother, who is not married to the biological father, takes the child legally. Unfortunately, the law does state that the mother does not have to legally notify the father if they leave, and doesn't have to, tell the father basically anything. What happens then, again, since they are not legally bound and married, then it has to go to family court. That's when you have to start the court process and all that stuff. You can't even contact the police. The police cannot intervene and go and get that child or do anything. Okay. Because once again, there was no legal marriage that was established. So basically right now, she has legal rights to take that child and, go off whatever. However, what I feel is coming just by the way of him filing for a protection order is it's going to move in that direction. I do believe 1000% he is going to file for custody for his child. That's what I feel is going to take place, because those are the first steps in those proceedings, and that is what a good attorney recommends and suggests in the first stages of those events. Especially now, here's something that's not going to look good. Okay, is if one of the parties of the two parents just takes off with a child, right? And doesn't leave a note, there's no communication or anything like that. Well, that is frowned upon in the court. Okay. A judge does not like that at all. In fact, what a family court is going to want to see is they're going to want to see two functioning parents who are able to communicate and to put the child first and to get along. Okay. Well, this is why I'm saying get a mediator, because there's clearly something that has taken place to where these two have parted ways or whatever. None of my business. Don't care what it is. None of your business. We don't know these people. Okay. But again, there's things that are missing here. Okay. And this is not like Ryan to just up and do, in my opinion. He would do anything to save his family. So that leads me to believe that she has possibly been working with or kept in very close contact with the enemies or something much bigger, enough to where he is like, I'm fucking done. And this was it. And before people can come in and comment and say, oh, hey, he needs help. Well, you know what? Here's what's really fucking interesting. Okay. To all you cocksuckers out there who say that. Because to be completely honest, she would not even be able to even go to court and to claim that. Okay. And here's why. Because she has chosen to stay with him this whole time. Okay. And I have a feeling that that would be very damaging if a party would come in and try to make accusations of such and say, hey, this parent does this and does that and does this and that. Because what that ultimately does is that reverses things in a negative way and not a good turnout in the court of law and family court, because a judge then looks at that parent and frowns upon that parent and says, well, if you're saying this and this is true, shame on you for staying in that situation and keeping a child in that situation. They don't like that. Okay. A judge is not going to like to hear a whole persona of people coming in and saying, oh my God, he does this, he does that, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what's going to happen. It's not what's going to happen. What I would strongly suggest, and Ryan, any good family law attorney is going to suggest the same thing. What needs to establish and to take place is Ryan immediately sign up for parenting classes. Okay. Not saying you need parenting classes. I'm just saying in the court of law, these are things that look good in a case. Okay. These are going to be things that, help your case and help you as a parent and help your child. Because honestly, you guys, I think this is going to get nasty. I really do. And I don't think from Ryan's side, okay? I think that there's been some like kind of plotting and a little planning and sneakiness that's been taking place, because for one, I want you guys to keep in mind, okay? There was something, and who knows? We don't know at this point in time if the person allegedly left to like move out or anything like that, right? There could have been a strong possibility that she possibly left with one of the enemy friends or somebody like that and didn't have signal or something, okay? Who knows? But I think at the end of the day, that Ryan just, I don't know. I think that he just knew something's not right. Okay. Now think of this. People are talking about the family car. People are saying that Ryan has allegedly stated that the vehicle is in his name and that he has shared that information publicly. Okay. Maybe so. Okay. Now, does that sound a little bit controlling and stuff like that when a man says that? Sure, it can. Okay. See, I'm not biased. I'm pretty open and honest here. That can sound like kind of like a controlling, type of a thing, right? Um, However, if no vehicles were taken, then that leads a question of, okay, well, if somebody was actually leaving, they would have to have a financial backup plan, right? So that leads you to wonder, okay, what is this person's financial backup plan? Have they been secretly plotting and saving on the side for this day? There's just a lot of shit, you guys. And the reason why I think that people need to take this into consideration is the simple fact that it's been proven uh, in a lot of ways that several people in his past have desperately made attempts several times to have him sign bogus bullshit, um, and to basically try to do a fucking controlled conservatorship is what I feel strongly about, to access his money and to dictate things and to own his music catalogs. 1000 fucking percent. So at this point in time, once he had had the first feuding with his mother, he had then switched the will allegedly to the cousin and to the fucking mechanic buddy. And guess what? Then he allegedly switched the will again, kicked them out of it. And so I'm pretty sure that now everything is set to go to baby mama and to his daughter. But here's where that gets a little kind of tricky, per se, okay? Because if he's in cahoots with baby mama, then the daughter would basically have to wait until the age of 18 as a legal adult, because if not, then the baby mama would have access to that. And it may not per se go directly where it's supposed to be, right? Which I don't think that that would happen, honestly. From what I've gathered and seen, my personal opinion is, this chick just seems kind of laid back, humble, quiet. But again, we don't know. We're not behind closed doors. I don't feel and believe that, Ryan's this fucking monster like people say and stuff, because if he really was, then a fucking woman wouldn't be with him for half of a fucking lifetime. Okay. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there are these damaging videos and all this evidence that points to fucking abuse. Okay. Because, okay, well, if there is, okay, then I take that back. But however, if somebody is withholding damaging evidence and supporting witnessing abuse and saying that they have it on fucking video like a little weird fuck creep, um, but yet you didn't call the cops, then you are a foul motherfucker and you should be prosecuted. The cops should be coming fucking knocking on your door and asking, hey, what the fuck is your deal, dude? That would be a very big question that I would have. So now you come to these factors of trust, right? Who the fuck do you trust? He can't trust his fucking old attorney that he set up real fucking good. This guy honestly cannot trust anybody. Okay, what did I tell you guys? I was the first person to call out his security, right? And that was kind of risky because a lot of people said it was kind of ballsy. I was playing with fire because he may get pissed off, may not support me, may not like me, not give two fucks about me, might go the fuck off on me for having a strong opinion and saying that his security is garbage. I didn't care. Okay. It was a risk that was worth taking. And I was calling shit out for a while. And sure enough, it came out per Ryan that he fired and let go of all of his security. And that was after the fact of me calling all those people out and making predictions and saying things. And it's just kind of weird how a lot of these things that I have kind of felt and believed in have kind of happened and taken place, if you will, right? And a lot of people who have followed my channels for the last several years on all the channels, you guys have kind of witnessed that firsthand. Okay. Now, here's where things are going to get very messy, unfortunately. So now that he has been smart enough to go to the courts, that is him being bold and basically saying, I'm not fucking playing. I'm not playing games. Okay. So what's going to take place now? He's going to get his paternity established, which is more than likely the second step of his court process that he went to the courthouse yesterday to achieve and to take care of. What that is going to then do is that is the step that it's going to take to establish paternity, to confirm that, what we know, like, okay, hey, he's the father, right? Even if you have signed the birth certificate by law, you still have to establish paternity if you're not legally married, right? Sucks for the man. It does suck. I think it sucks. And I'm a fucking female. So anyhow, um, so basically, once those things are established and in place, then he's going to be able to proceed with then making a filing for his visitation and his time and stuff. But here's where people need to really pay the fuck attention. Okay. It's going to be that in between time and how people are behaving and how people are acting is what a court is going to want to look at. Okay. The court's not going to give two shits if, Betty Sue is, just humble and, mommy. Okay. What they're going to look at is they're going to be wondering, hey, to Betty Sue, have you been fair? Have you been wanting to put the child's needs first and keep that relationship going? So what I would recommend for Ryan to do, right, is once paternity has came back, then what he needs to do is he needs to sign up for supervised visitation at a local job family service building. And what I'm meaning by that is because until you are granted actual, like a set up designated visitation schedule that you're exercising, that allows you to exercise parenting time also under the eyes and the supervision of people who can also go into court and basically, be on your side. They can go to the court and they can say, hey, we seen him come in for visitation. He was on time. The child was happy. He did not appear, to be on drugs or anything like that. It's going to be a beneficial factor. Okay. I strongly suggest that in this situation, in this case. Now, here's where things are going to get even more tricky, because I personally feel and believe that that child needs security. That child needs severe protection, just for the simple fact of who her parents are. I mean, she is a celebrity and a musician, artist, child. Okay, there's huge, huge safety factors when it comes to that. You have people on the internet. Look at all the crazy fucks who come here, who remind you they dislike Ryan so much, right? They they don't follow, they actually do follow Ryan. Okay, like let me make this fucking make sense, okay? Because I mentally have to try to make it fucking make sense, but follow along. You have people who come here, meaning here in our little fucking playground, that do not like Ryan. Okay. So they want to feel so compelled to let me know in comments, that I must have issue for supporting him. And then they don't like him so much that they come here and they're a fan and they give me views on my video, and they have to tell me that they don't like Ryan, or they have to complain about what they think about Ryan. Okay. It doesn't faze me. I'm a pretty fair bitch. I'll let people say what they want, whatever. No big deal. Okay. But here's the thing though. Um, this is going to get nasty. It's going to get nasty. Um, that man, he is not about to he's not about to let people do any crazy shit, and especially when it comes to his child. So now here is the other thing that's going to have to take place is both parties are going to have to show basically a way to be able to support the child. And we're not talking physically, we're talking financially. There's going to have to be there's going to have to be like a lot of things. And I sit here and I think to myself, like, man, I do not think it's a good idea for that child to just be, taken away and live in wherever and not having any security whatsoever. Because as you guys have seen on platforms and on the streets of YouTube, on the streets of social media and stuff, for instance, here's a prime example of the security team, the Shady Fox, who hired the guy who day one was taken out by the Cheatham County Sheriff's Department from Ghost Ranch because what his social media had stated and the post that he had made. And he was caught on camera at the Ghost Ranch with his hands up, acting a fucking fool and acting shady as fuck and talking about kidnapping. Okay. So there has been a lot of threats and certain things that would raise red flags immediately. So again, financially wise, is there money to where she would be able to protect that child? You know, and if this is a more of a domestic dispute, some sort of, something like that, again, it's going to be hard in the court of law because the court is going to say, hey, where are the calls? Where's the proof? Where are the police reports? Okay. And I'm not saying that, oh, that didn't happen or anything like that. But I'm going to tell you right now, if it comes out that she has been, linking up and getting help by the enemies and sneaking around and shit like that, then it's game over. Like, and that's why I think is going on, because it would take something like that for Ryan to be like, fuck you, okay? This is over with. I am fucking done. I am not playing. Okay. And when I think about how Dracula Teeth was on social media fucking immediately and knew that Beth was gone. Okay. And then for somebody in the live to mention fucking Dear Queer, for Ryan to say Dear Queer basically, that leads me to think that, okay, if by some wild chance, if any of them are involved in helping her or convincing her or supporting her or anything like that, I guarantee you that would be probably the end of them. 1000%. Child or not. I think that Ryan has his limits and having this child, and for a partner to know how much shit a person has gone through publicly for so long and to be fucked over by family members, by fucking so-called alleged childhood best friends and long lost fucking best friends who just fucking show up with their goddamn family in a fucking damn um what was it, a motorcycle fucking trailer, and camp out and get to fucking move right in and do corrupted shit and allegedly steal phones and do other bullshit and sit around and be weird as fuck in your home and allegedly videotape you having fights with your fucking partner and shit. I mean, I don't know. What was that guy's motive the whole fucking time? Honestly. Like, is anybody asking that fucking question? I mean, if somebody's not asking what that person's real motive was to bounce back after all those years and to come out and to admit and to say that you're basically fucking stalking your homeboy and his fucking girl and videotaping shit, but yet your ass didn't call the fucking cops. I mean, that's kind of fucked up, right? Kind of fucked up. So I don't know. At the end of the day, there's things that's going to probably come out, and again, not the internet's business, right? And I get it. A lot of people say, hey, Ryan runs the internet. He's the one who started this. He's the one who shared this. Nobody would know, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I get it. I get it. But I honestly think that here's the thing with Ryan. I personally feel and believe that this has been a way for him to just always just kind of let shit out, is to document things, right? And this has always been his method of documenting things, is to go live or to do a video or to be on YouTube or on social media. Okay, I don't think it's just over this whole baby mama shit, honestly. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I know that today, as of a couple hours ago, he was kicking it and hanging out with his brother. They were cutting down trees and doing stuff. So it sounds like he's, not doing what people are claiming, saying like, oh, he's probably, methed up or something like that. No, I mean, he was outdoors. Is staying busy. I mean, I don't think people truly understand like the whole mentality of things, the mental aspects of a lot of things. Um, eh, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But anyhow, these are just things that I wanted to kind of touch base with. A lot of people did not understand or know about this latest filing on this protection order. I had it reversed wrong. I thought that she had filed it on him, and I re-checked into it and stuff, and it appears that he filed it on her. So again, not really sure what is actually taking place. However, just wanted you guys to know there's definitely something that's taking place and going on that I guess you just gotta sit back and buckle up and kind of wait for it to come out. And I'm sure that it will in time when he's ready. The one thing that you do not want to do in this matter is to publicly talk and to discuss anything about the other parent, the other party, publicly online on social media. That is something that a magistrate, the court is going to frown upon. They are going to be looking at what parent is solid, mature, just, a lot of factors, a lot of factors. And I really feel, you guys, I feel that this is hard on him, okay? Because you guys, even the people that don't like him, you guys clearly see that he absolutely 1000% loves his family with his whole heart. His child is his world. That is the only thing in this world that could break that man, honestly, is losing that little girl. Um, so this is why I know this is something much deeper. I don't think this is no bullshit of, oh, he talked to her like crap. They had a fight and it's been building. No, I don't think that's it. I don't think this has anything to do with controlling money or anything like that. Not at all. Because if there was anything at any time that those girls needed or wanted, they would have it. Okay. That's what I believe. I believe that this is going to come out, that people that are the enemies have been kind of coursing her, possibly, because see, those people, they would love nothing more Ryan lose his daughter and for her to leave. They would just get the biggest kick out of it. They'd be like, ha ha ha, um, because they know that that's what would hurt him the most. And guess what? With that taking place, that could also lead Ryan, in some people's eyes or opinions, like those people, to really strongly feel or to think or to believe that he may do something. Okay? So think about that. If his baby mama left, took baby, and uh, thought that that would just push him over the edge, well, guess what? Some people may like that because, well, who would gain? Who would gain from that? Well, it sure as the hell wouldn't be the child, because I'm sure that that little child is probably wondering why the hell she is not at home and seeing her daddy. I mean, there's that. So there's just a lot of shit. There's a lot of factors that are taking place. And I honestly, I will say this, and I mean this 1000%. If it comes out that she is working with the enemies and being helped by the enemies and got a ride from the enemies, okay? And if it comes out that mechanic fuck had any part of it, because see, somebody was at that house and broke something, because Ryan did not indicate and state what was broken. Okay? But something got broke. Okay? Something got broke because he pointed out, he said they broke that. But again, we don't know what. So I think right now Ryan is on the safe side by hanging out with his family, being humble, checking on his real estate property, stuff like that. By the way, my God, the people that are renting the one house, dude, what the hell? Like, disgusting. Literally ran out of toilet paper and they wiped their shitty ass on the toilet paper dispenser thing. Oh my God. It was disgusting. So if you're a contractor, you're looking to make some extra money, hit up Ryan, because he's going to be hiring contractors to come in and to clean out and pretty much gut the hell out of this rental when these people move out. It's beyond disgusting. Pretty gross. Pretty freaking disgusting, you guys. So anyhow, so much love to all of you guys, and even people who hate and stuff like that. Listen, no hard feelings. You're entitled to your opinions and your thoughts and stuff, but at the end of the day, even the enemies, you guys have kids. How would you feel if you were going through basically the same thing? It's not a laughing matter. It's not something to, celebrate and stuff like that. It's a dick move. Honestly, it's a dick move. So I honestly think, depending on who came and played rescue and took baby mama and the baby, I have a feeling that if it was anybody on the enemy side, like a mechanic or somebody, I strongly have a feeling that that probably sealed somebody's fucking fate. Something did. something major caused him to go and file that shit and say, I'm done. So, and I'm sure we'll hear about it eventually. But Ryan, don't do that shit online. Don't do no fucking videos bashing her, telling no more business, nothing. Keep your mouth shut, okay? And just do you. Because again, with all these things being filed and stuff, the court and people will be able to use anything in court. So again, just live your best life and be patient and wait for your court date. So everybody else out there, much love to all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. And again, I hope everybody is well, and keep kicking ass, everybody. Much love.